Yo, what is good, everybody? What is good, yo? Okay, let's talk about this, man. Sword art getting real dirty and feisty like. Um, this week's episode, we straight up learned that after losing a duel, that some of these nobles like to just go out of their way to be absolutely disgusting and take advantage of their lower classmen's in any way, shape, or form that they can. And one of those ways being having them to massage them and pretty much uh, strip down while massaging them is everything we got this week out of the situation. So, with that being said, I was already mad. I already wanted this man's head on a stick, and I wanted to be the one to take him out, all of these things. But of course, with due time, I feel like we will be seeing that happen. Maybe not so much of him being like actually dead, but I think we're going to be seeing enough to know that we're happy, like, well, I'm happy anyway. I don't know if other people really care, but that wouldn't fly if I was Kimi. Like exactly like the guy who's trying to reach for his sword and doesn't have a sword. That's definitely me, and I'm not doing the Kimito like sitting there calm like he did. I understand why he did it because it made sense, just by him, talking it out. Uh, he knew that this was pretty much a ploy that, hey, if I get him to do this, I can pretty much, guaranteed that I'm going to, not only get to fight him again, get to fight the blonde-haired kid again, and he'll probably get kicked out for attacking, like a student in the sense of like on allegations, or like even if they weren't false, or even if they were, you gotta have to have that proof, and if you don't, you look real bad, and that would have been the maximum penalty. I need to learn Keelik all over again. This sucks. Um, but yeah, all that being said, we just really know that there's obviously some jealousy between these two nobles that seemingly are a little bit closer than I expect. Oh, I have reduced health and his. Oh my god, I thought he had normal everything. This man has increased attack power. So sorry if I lose to this guy. I'm not used to this fighting style yet. Um, but yeah, it's funny to me that they're going out of their way to, not only humiliate someone else that, like has a relations to him, but they also kind of figured that this would get him in trouble as well. And it's obvious to me that this feels unreasonably like weird because if you think about it, people in this world are supposed to there's not supposed to be crimes, there's not supposed to be anything, relatively like people wanting to do necessary evil, to do things that you know, put them in a bad light. Like that's why the main guy in the when we first I'm just gonna give him a name, like the blonde Kimito. He's blonde Kimito because he knows L Crine style too. Um, he's the white swordsman. Too soon? Uh, but when we get his like his outrage of things and his eyeball and all these different things, it's really the only signs of change or like anything remotely close to seeing the NPCs actually lash out in a way. And to see these noble guys acting in such a way, it's weird to think the programmers or the people out there watching had this in mind for certain characters to be able to follow these traits. And it makes sense, and then at the same time, it doesn't, because if they're doing this, that means they know that they're getting close to uh, breaking the taboo, and by breaking the taboo, you're pretty much just get bodied, you know what I mean? So for them to know all that and to still do it kind of made no sense to me in that instance. Like, why go through the trouble of that when you can just you can pretty much have what you want and do what you want with money. It's just why go out of your way to do it to somebody who could maybe find you out and rat you out. So uh they just these two just see me at those two plus the guy who was training acting almost as if he was like Kimito. He's like, "Oh yeah, I like to do some training against the rules too, you know. I like to come out here and well, not out there in particular, but he just liked to go out and train in general, which was against the taboo on resting days. So what is, this whole notion that he isn't supposed to have those types of urges to break the taboo. I think that's really what this show is pushing forward in the narrative wise, and I do like that aspect, but at the same time, it's like, are we going to learn something, or is this it? Like, are we just really going to continuously see people who are almost breaking the rules, but not really. Or we're gonna see some people that really can break the taboo, and they're like not being monitored while doing such. Because just seeing these ladies and knowing what they were going through, and still coming to Kimito and our white swordsman, our blonde Kimito, they didn't seem like anything was wrong the first time. Like they were enjoying their time, and it kind of just came out that like, oh hey, this is going on. It's like, whoa, what? Like we gotta do something about that. And it was funny to me that it almost seemed like she was going to let it slide or something, as if she didn't just want to talk about it. So it really hurt to see that. I have seen that before in real life with people, so to actually see it in an anime, it definitely hits, like someone like me very hard in the sense of, my pride, like they were talking about, just like how you should have pride and stuff like that towards these feelings that you have. If you think this is wrong, you should stand up and fight for that feeling of why it's wrong. And that's why Sword Art, I think, gets so much flack. It's because people think stuff like that is corny, but obviously you probably haven't been in that situation to even give an opinion on that. So think what you want, but when it comes down to it, this is pretty much dead on. Imagine knowing everything, trying to do something, and none of it works, okay? That's pretty much the situation he got himself into. And that is also something Kimito has dealt with, uh, also knowing everything and not being able to do anything about it. So his whole stay cool statement just rings that much more bells, and tells me just that much more about how Kimito has grown as the man that we see today. He used to be the loosest of cannons. Like Kibito just hearing these things would have went off, and just for him knowing what could be possible, what could be on their mind to straight up tell me, they're outright telling Kimito and the blonde Kimito like, hey, we stripped her down and she gave us a massage, and oh, because I was working out and helped you do something, that's the only reason why I did it. Like quote for quote, told verbatim, you know what I mean? Like, hi, I am this guy, and everything she told you was right, but I'm not gonna admit to it because you can't prove anything. It's just people like that really get under my skin. I don't know why or how the creator can, make it feel so realistic for me to, just get mad at what they're even trying to do to these characters. But at the same time, I know it's an animation, and I think the reason why it hits so hard at home is it's just not right, you know? And for our characters to react in the way they did, they knew it was not right. And they knew that regardless of what happens from here on out, it's go time, man. Like, it's on. You want to do this? You want to be like that? We got you. um, the other thing that really keeps coming to mind is how alike some of these characters are to the outside characters. We got to remember that the man who pretty much made this world is someone who, um, he is someone who's been monitoring Kimito's life for quite a bit. So it would not be surprising to me at all if he. How did I die? Come on, ref. I'm behind him, Jules. Um, it makes you think that he could easily pick parts of everybody that he saw considerably helpful in a way, or that he kind of thought, oh man, if my characters had this on their side, like a charismatic, nice woman, a girl who is strong-hearted about, sword, like her craft, and all these different types of people. But I mean, you got to remember that at the end of the day, he wasn't destined to become a swordsman, so for him to meet Kimito and these look at that and all these other people, it obviously is a whole different like move, or is it? You know what I mean? Like this kid's eye started tweaking out. I'm pretty sure they monitored that, maybe wiped him clear of Kimito, and as you can see, his eye is still something he kind of grabs onto, as if just like his heart, like maybe his eye was throbbing or something. So I still want to see if that might be something that will give him his own special, unique ability throughout the system, or if it's going to be something negative against him. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was just the duel itself. Hype. Super hype. I love the fact that Blonde Kimito, if you didn't know who Kimito was, you pretty much would have a Kimito in this world regardless. And that's what I mean by like the whole characters having certain aspects, and he's literally learning from Kimito. He's taking note by note, literally stay cool. You know, he's taking everything in and absorbing it like a sponge, so then he can be that way, and that's kind of how he is. But he's just not as much of a swordsman as Kimito is. So there is a subtle difference, and that's what I like about him the most, is because he hasn't lost what makes him, and he loves animals, he loves the forest. It's just now that he's a swordsman and now that he's as close to getting Alice back, there's no time for what you love. There's only time to try to get back who you lost, and I really like that that's the direction the show is going. The fight with the guy like tapping into this fire aura, and then, or not fire, but like a dark, yeah, it was like a dark fight, like a dark flame, and completely getting the upper hand after being like pushed back a good amount. Then all of a sudden you just like have him flash back and think about it. He's like, okay, I really got to change my stance. Changes his stance for a second and pretty much get in position to finish the fight with a win when it's ended early in a draw. But if it's ended in a draw, I can't make that conclusion. It was a draw, so there's no way there could have been a winner, right? That's how these nobles think, I feel. Like, oh, well, we ended it in a draw, so you didn't even get close to winning, buddy. Don't even talk about this. And it makes sense why he was so salty. But thank you guys for watching. I will end it there. I have a lot of videos coming out today in the least. So if you guys are surprised by how many videos I can drop in a day, this would probably be one of those days, I'm guessing. I think I might do two like early, like Goblin Slayer's out right now, so please check that out. Give me some support and some likes on that. And then this comes out right behind it. And I'm thinking later tonight, if you guys are subscribed, you'll see two more videos go up. If not, at least one more video. So with all that being said, everybody, thank you so much for just watching. Thank you for the comments. I love talking to you guys and reading all your comments, what you have to say. It always helps me, want to hop back or just monitor my channel all the time just to see if you guys have something to say or if there's anything you want me to watch and stuff like that. I'm always taking in notes. So thank you so much for that. I will talk to you in the next one. So with that, my anime people, peace.